Movie bloopers are a lot of fun, plain and simple. Film fans love to watch actors flub, and considering the way they make themselves and their co-stars laugh when it happens, actors clearly love bloopers too. Filmmakers, on the other hand, may not love them quite as much. Every time an actor makes a mistake, it delays the shoot just a little, and time is money. And every so often, they're forced to deal with a truly world-class mess-up, a mistake that cost the production big money due to property damage and personal injury. 7. Brad Pitt suffered a nasty injury on the set of Seven. During one scene that called for him to chase his suspect in the rain, he slipped and smashed his hand into a windshield, severing a tendon. Director David Fincher mentions on the film's DVD commentary that Pitt showed him his wound, which was so severe he could see the white of the bone. Making the best of a bad situation, Fincher managed to incorporate Pitt's injury into the story of Seven by having the script rewritten to have Pitt's character suffer an injury in the line of duty. It added time and expense to the production schedule, but it was probably a lot cheaper to explain why one of the film's main characters was suddenly wearing a cast than simply delaying shooting long enough for Pitt to recover. Still, it didn't solve the problem completely. Like most movies, Seven was shot out of sequence, so an earlier scene filmed after Pitt's injury required the actor to hold his bad hand in his pocket or behind his back. Skyfall. According to writer and filmmaker Charlie Line, the 2012 James Bond adventure Skyfall had to deal with some unplanned expenses because star Daniel Craig wore a pair of leather gloves at the wrong moment. As Line told the story via Twitter, which he heard from someone who worked on the film, Craig asked director Sam Mendes if he could wear a pair of leather gloves in a particular scene. Mendes agreed, and the cast and crew got down to work filming a sequence in which a bad guy gets Bond's gun away from him, only to find he can't fire it because it has a fingerprint scanner. It will only work for Bond.
There's a microdermal sensor in the grip. Encoded to your palm print so only you can fire it.
Months later in the editing bay, a production assistant noticed a problem.
Then how was Bond ever going to fire it wearing gloves? And so silence falls across the room.
After considering the cost of reshooting the scene, the filmmakers decided it would be cheaper, although still quite expensive, to digitally remove the gloves from Craig's hands for the entire sequence.
If you watch the scene now, honest to God, you can see that Bond has these ridiculously pudgy hands. He has these like Mr. Blobby hands because in every single frame he was wearing these thick leather gloves that have now been painted over with Craig tone hands.
The Hateful Eight. To play the crafty outlaw Daisy Darmagou in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, Jennifer Jason Leigh had to learn how to play the guitar. The lucky actress got to learn on the same one she'd strum in the film, a vintage Martin guitar dating to the 19th century, loaned to the movie by the Martin Guitar Museum. Lee's big guitar-playing moment on screen was all planned out. While she was playing, co-star Kurt Russell was supposed to grab it. The scene would cut, and the Martin would be traded out for a cheaper prop guitar, which Russell would smash when the camera started to roll again. But that isn't what happened. Instead, Russell grabbed the real Martin from Lee and smashed it.
Give me that guitar. Music time's over.
Lee later told Billboard Kurt felt terrible. He had no idea. Justice League. Sometimes it's not the actor who goofs up, it's the studio responsible for the movie, and then they have to fork out the cash to make things right. Warner Brothers had to reassemble the cast of Justice League in the summer of 2017 for some crucial reshoots. Henry Cavill, who plays Superman, was among those summoned, but there was a problem. He'd grown a mustache for his next role in the 6th Mission Impossible movie, and was contractually obligated to keep it until MI6 was finished filming. The facial hair scheduling snafu left Justice League's visual effects technicians with the job of digitally removing Superman's mustache. Effects expert Dave Fleet told Business Insider it could cost millions. We would need to build a 3D model of the face and then shade the surface of the skin to look realistic. We would then need to track the 3D model to the movement of his head and potentially reanimate his mouth.
That mustache has got to go. It makes you look like a total geek. It makes you look like a total geek.
The Avengers. Marvel's superhero team isn't the only Avengers in pop culture. There's also The Avengers, a 1960s British spy TV series. The 1998 film adaptation starring Ralph Fiennes and Uma Thurman was a critical and commercial bomb. But the movie made headlines for another type of detonation. While the crew filmed an explosion for the movie, a few rogue sparks drifted away and hit the roof of the studio, starting a fire that was definitely not part of the plan. A set worth a reported $1.6 million was destroyed, along with the hopes of any sequel.
Never trust the weather, Sir August.
Rain or shine, all is might.
Thanks for watching. Click the Looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.